Hello YouTube, Randomer here, bringing you a deck profile for my Spell Striker Madolches. This is my favorite deck to play. I took it to a regional and did really well. I stomped a bunch of Prophecy decks. Dragon Rulers beat me pretty bad, but I guess I don't have to worry about those anymore with the ban list. I'll get into the deck profile. All Madolche monsters, they all have one effect where if they're destroyed by an opponent's card effect or battle and sent to the graveyard, they get shuffled back into the deck. They all have that. This card right here, Madolche Madolches, is your searcher. You can summon her or flip summon her, and you get to add one Madolche to your hand. Very good for setting up any of your combos, which you can do. This Spell Striker version of the deck has OTK and FTK potential, which is really great. It really surprises people because I can't get going. I run 3 of these. Next up, we have our Madolche Mufel. And what this little guy does is when you normal summon him, you can special summon another Madolche from your hand. Very good to swarm the field pretty quick. I run 3 of those. Next up, we have our Madolche Messenger. What he does is when he is special summoned, while there's a beast-type Madolche on the field, you can add one Madolche spell or trap from the deck to your hand. Very good with the Mufel, because you can normal summon the Mufel, special summon the Messenger, and you've got your search. Very good opening play. I read 3 of them. Next up, we've got one of the best cards in the deck, and probably by far the best Madolche monster, is the Madolche Hoot Cake. And what he does is he can banish a monster from the graveyard to special summon any Madolche from your deck. It added some much needed consistency to the deck. It came out in Lord of the Tachyon Galaxy. Very good. I run 3. So you could potentially Mufel into Hoot Cake and even get a 3rd summon by banishing a monster. The downside to Hoot Cake is that you can't. A lot of the Madolche monsters don't like to sit in the graveyard. So sometimes he doesn't have a target to banish. Also, that can only be used once per turn, which is a bummer. Next up, we've got the Madolche Croissant. A lot of people don't run him, but I do, just because he's versatile. He can bounce one Madolche card to your hand, and he gets 300 attack, as well as a level, so he can be a level 3 or 4. It's really great. It's situational. If you need to do a quick Ixie summon and you don't have, you potentially need a level 3 or 4, you can use him for that. He also works with the Madolche spell card Madolche ticket that I'll show you. That's it for the Madolche monsters. Then we've got Card D. You get to draw, but he also works as Hoot Cake food, which is great. Effect Veiler, also for Hoot Cake food, but is also an Effect Veiler. And Max C. For Max C. Hoot Cake food. Next up, we've got the Spell Striker. This is a really cool variant of the deck. Because Spell Striker, he's a level 3 warrior, so he's searchable by Rhoda. And how you special summon him is you banish a spell card from your grave. Easy enough, just free level 3 on the field. And for a deck that works with level 3s and 4s, he works really great in here. I run 2 of him. And for the spells, I've got Dark Hole, because Dark Hole. Book of Moon, because I love Book of Moon. Instant Fusion. If you don't know what this card does, you can pay 1,000 life points to special summon one level 5 or lower fusion monster from your extra deck. And it's really awesome for making Xyz monsters as well. Next up, we've got Reinforcement of the Army to search out that Spell Striker, but it can also search out the Messenger. If you search out Spell Striker, then you can immediately banish Reinforcement of the Army to summon it. 3 Mystical Space Typhoons. We've got the Madolche Field Spell, Madolche Chateau. What this does is when it's activated, you shuffle all the Madolche monsters in your graveyard to the deck. All Madolche monsters in the field gain 500 attack and defense. And if one of your Madolches was going to get shuffled back to your deck, you can just add it to your hand instead. Really great for hand advantage, and you can just reuse your Mufel, all that good stuff. I run 2. Some people run 3, but I find 2 is enough. with this deck, because they are not going to stay alive long enough to see a third one. Then we've got the other Madolche spell card, Madolche Ticket. This card Madolches can be a little complicated if you're newer to Yu-Gi-Oh or something. But what the ticket does is when Madolche is returned to your hand or deck from your graveyard or field, you can add one Madolche monster from your deck to your hand. So Croissant sets this off. The Chateau, when it's activated, if you have a Madolche in your graveyard, sets this off. And if one of your Madolche monsters is destroyed by your opponent, it also gets set off. So you get to add that Madolche to your hand, great for maintaining hand advantage. Another thing this does, if you have a fairy-type Madolche, like Madolche Pudding Cess, which I don't run, or Madolche Queen Tiramisu, which I do run, it's the Ixies, you can just special summon it instead, which makes it great for swarming and maintaining hand advantage. I run 2 of those, because again, your opponent won't live to see a third. We've got 3 Fiendish Chain, just to lock him down. A Solemn Warning. A Bottomless Trap Hole, which I might get rid of for a Magician of Faith, I'm not sure. Torrential Tribute. 2 Mirror Force. Royal Decree. I do main a Royal Decree because I find I don't rely on my traps too often. But traps can really mess up the OTK that they have. So I main it, and it's always worked out really good for me. It's never been a dead draw. A Compulse. And Madolche Palooza. What this guy does, it's searchable with Messenger Lotto. You can special summon any number of Madolche monsters from your hand, but shuffle them back into the deck at the end phase. So you will always pretty much have a lot of Madolches in your hand, and this can help defend during their turn. Let's say they clear their field and they go back to your hand or something. You can play this and just lay them out on the field again for a little bit of defense, or you can go for that final attack. Really great card. So that's the main deck. Let's see, we've got in the extra deck, we've got the Fusionist for instant fusion. Really awesome card. He's level 3 Earth, which all the Madolches are Earth, by the way. We've got the Carbonala Warrior, level 4 Earth, for instant fusion as well. We've got the Madolche Queen Tiramisu. And what she does is you can detach one XYZ material from this card, and you can target up to 2 Madolche cards in your graveyard and shuffle them back into the deck. And then you can choose 2 of their monsters, or spells or traps, or any of their cards, to shuffle back into their deck. The cool thing about Tiramisu is she doesn't target, which is really awesome. Also, she sets off Ticket. And when she sets off Ticket, since she's a fairy-type Madolche, you can special summon another Madolche monster. I run 2. Really awesome card. Clears the field, shuffles 2 cards back into their deck. Awesome. Gaga Cowboy, just for those last stands if you need it. Leviair, or not Leviair, Leviathan Dragon. Zen Mains. Maestroke. There's Leviair. Leviair can, since Hoot Cake banishes, this can help you get back those monsters you banished. Temtempo. Fairy King Alberdique. He's really cool because you can subtract 500 attack and defense from all non-Earth monsters. Since the Madolches are all Earth, it won't really affect you too much. X-Saber Invoker. Really good card. 2 level 3s. You can detach 1 XYZ material from this card, special summon 1 level 4 Earth Warrior, or Beast Warrior type monster from your deck. So this is used to summon your Messenger Lottos, and it works really well, the OTK. We've got Acid Golem for a 3000 beater. Fortune Tune. I don't want to explain Fortune Tune because it has a really long effect, but it has saved me on countless occasions. Equipped Engineer. It's kind of like a Zen Mains, except it doesn't destroy a card. It's situational. It'll save you sometimes. So that's the Madolche deck, and I can show you guys how the OTK works if you'd like. All you need in your hand is a Rhoda or an instant fusion. There's actually several variations, but essentially, here's one of them. What you need is a hoot cake, like a Rhoda or an instant fusion, and a Muful. That's a lot easier to get than you'd think. So what you end up doing is you also need a card in the graveyard, which is why we have Max C and Effect Veiler. Max C is great. So if you can get that in your opening hand, you know, you've won. Because what you do is you discard Max C to the graveyard, summon Madolche Muful, special summon your Hoot Cake, reinforcement of the army to search out your Spell Striker. Let's get him in there. You got your Spell Striker. You can banish Rhoda to special summon your Spell Striker. Use Hoot Cake to banish your Max C or card in the graveyard. And you can special summon a Messengerlado. Don't have a whole lot of camera space, sorry about that. When your Messengerlado's summoned, special summoned, you can search out your Chateau, your field spell. So these guys all have 500 attack and defense now. Then you can go overlay. Make sure to keep one of your level 3 Madolches on the field, so use the Spell Striker to your advantage. And you can go for Invoker. And you detach from Invoker. Make sure you detach the Madolche card you attached. It's very important that you detach that. And you can special summon another Messengerlado. So when you summon the second Messengerlado, you gain its effect again because you have Hoot Cake on the field. So you can search out your ticket and play that. Then you overlay for your Queen Tiramisu. You do need for Tiramisu's effect, you do need a Madolche in the graveyard. That's why I say it's important to attach the Madolche card. So you detach your Messengerlado, target your Muful and your Messengerlado, shuffle 2 cards they control back into the deck. These go back to your hand because of Chateau. Ticket goes off, and I always search for a Croissant. Let's see here. Not sure if I did this right. Pretty sure I did. So what will happen? Oh, you use your Croissant, and you can bounce one of your spells and replay it. So he's a 2300. She's a 27. He's a 2, and that's a 16. So we've got 23. So we've got 5,000 right here, 6,000, 7,000 right here, and then 8,000 and 600. So that's the OTK right there. It's really amazing. Surprises people. You can do a first turn if you get the right hand, and it's a lot easier than you'd think to get off. Great combo. So yeah, guys, that was my Madolche deck. Let me know what you think. If you think that you would change it to be any better, let me know in the comments. It's always great to hear from you guys. Yeah, just keep dueling. Hope you enjoyed the deck profile. Enjoy the new ban list.